Hey family. I'm gonna see if this broadcast will go through. I'm in Texas. It's like 1:30. Hey, thanks for joining. Hey. So I'm on a farm in Austin. What up? How are you? You guys want to talk about what you see? I thought that we would come out here to the forest and talk about what we see. Because what does that even really mean, you know? Yeah. Well, I'm going to be here to support you not being bored. Ready? Let's put some insight on life. Because what we really see creates things inside of us, doesn't it? Creates those feelings and thoughts we have about things. Our sight is just one of the things that comes in first. So if I said, what did you feel? Would you want to click on this site? Maybe. But we don't want to feel, do we? We just want to see. We want to feel seen. From the minute we come down here on this planet, don't we feel like we just want to be loved? I think that's all we're trying to get back to, right? So if we're seen and loved, then we are completely fulfilled, right? We're always trying to get that. We're trying to reach for what love feels like through achievements, job, family. Many different things we reach for finding that love to feel seen, don't we? Hey guys, thanks for joining. We're talking about seeing and feeling seen. And we're talking about it here in the fairy garden in Texas. I'm good. I'm awesome. How are you? I'm here to talk to you guys a little bit about feeling love for yourselves today. And I just felt the need out here with the energy. It's raining, but I'm under the trees, so you can't really feel it. It's pretty cool. Yay, good. So, as we're here talking about feeling seen and feeling loved, you know, I just wanted to come on here just to feel that with you guys, because I think that a lot of us feel a lot of fear constantly, don't we? Like, we're constantly worrying about what's next, or if I'm going to finish this project, or if I'm going to get there on time, or if I'm going to say the right thing, right? It's like this constant like drag or distraction that we put on ourselves to worry about what's next, instead of just like trying to be in this moment that we're in, right? And it's like, I'm not over here preaching to you guys, I'm preaching to myself, right? Like, aren't we all like here to just be mirrors for each other, you know? And it's like when we're having that pain, like that frustration inside of us, like we just want to cycle in it and like get ourselves even more nervous. Like, oh, when am I going to get there? How am I going to get there? Instead of stopping for a second and being like, oh, my body's feeling tense. Like, why do I want to do this to myself? You know? What's that? And, oh, okay. Funny. Haha. Okay. So when we're in that cycle for ourselves and we're like trying to figure out like where that love is, okay, is like, it's within us. It's within that moment to take yourself out and be like, I don't need to reach, you know, I can just be with how I'm feeling. Yeah, that's it. That's totally it. Yeah. And it's like, so in being in that moment, you know, we can have compassion for that pain that we might be having, right? So it's like, it's kind of like that child inside of you. So if you think about the child inside of you, then it's actually a child, right? You know, so what if a child was upset and hurting? Like, what do? We love them, right? In some way or another. So it's like, that's what we need to give to ourselves in these moments that we're having these stress. Give that child inside of you the love that you would give a child in front of you, right? Yeah, right. Yeah. It's like we don't want to take care of ourselves in this moment. Like, take care of me later always. Like, but what if we took care of ourselves first? You know? Like, we were the first ones to take care of ourselves. You know? Like, why are we constantly trying to reach to take care of someone else or fulfill ourselves? You know? It's like, you don't have to reach. It's right here in front of us. And if we only felt good inside, then it would be empowering to do what's next, right? Hey, thanks for joining. So it's like, if we felt that empowerment to be that, then that would be it. You know, that's how you create love inside of you, you know? And it's like, we are constantly reaching in different types of relationships when all we really want to know, exactly, or at least it feels that way, right? And so we feel completely empty, but if we feel inside of us that we aren't empty, that we can fill our own emptiness, we can do that all by ourselves. Thanks for joining. You know, and we don't need to reach outside to feel that goodness for ourselves inside. We don't. As long as we can feel that we are important within us, then it grows, right? And these relationships that we develop, because there's love within them, there's more love between you. Becomes that energetic value, you know. So everyone can be connected and nothing takes away from another. So it's like we're constantly worried, is this relationship or that friendship in the way? Is it causing something that's going to detriment me or take away from me, or, you know, cause someone to not be friends with me or not want to date me anymore? But what if that other relationship and friendship was something that added to their value and added to your value because they had that in their world? Because each relationship and each situation and friendship is different, right? It adds a different value to your life. So if you allow that different value to be your fulfillment instead of take away from you, then it creates a lifetime of synergy between all of us. We're in constant loving flow, right? But how do we do that, right? Is that your guys' question? Hey, thanks for joining. You know, because I think that's my question, or was my question. And it still is sometimes when I'm in it. Hey, what up from Sydney? Thanks for joining. We're talking about how to create love on this planet and the worldwide tribalism here at the Famili. Thanks for joining. You know, we're gonna, what I was kind of getting into is like, how do you do that, right? And I don't know if some of you guys have been on here to hear me talk before, but, you know, I talk about the pause. And what the pause is that we create a thought and a feeling inside of us first, right? Before we act on it and we fall into this action, reaction flow, right? So when we do that, well, it's not about being single or not being single, but it's just about loving yourself. And once you do that, then, you know, you feel that, you know, and so it's like, if we can create that pause within ourselves to be like, hey, what's up, Rhode Island? Thanks for joining. Let's feel the love here. Let's see how to create that within ourselves. And so when we create that pause, right, it's even more is what I'm feeling. It's more than that. It's like, I think that we really, truly have to stop. Like, how many times have you had a conversation with somebody that you walked away from and you're like, man, like 2 seconds later, you're like, I wish I would have said this. Like, I would have felt so much better if I would have said this and said that. Right? And you're like, man, if I just would have waited 2 more seconds to say that, then I would have felt, hey, thanks for joining. Then I would have felt better about what I said, right? So why is it that we feel like we need to respond? Like, this is where the pause comes in. So someone asks you a question, you have a feeling about it, and you're like, and you just respond, fire back on what that instant feeling is, instead of being like, you know what? Hold on a second, I'm not really sure what I'm feeling right now, but it feels a little weird. So I'm going to feel that, I'm going to think about what I'm feeling. Right? And so when you take that time to do that, maybe the person's getting a little frustrated. They're like, come on, like, why aren't you saying something? You know, be like, cool. Why are you feeling frustrated about my situation that I'm having? What is this situation making you frustrated for? Because I need to feel something out. Also, if you take that time, you are guiding that person to feel what they are feeling and feel exactly and truly, thank you, what you want to feel. Thanks for joining. So when you actually get to speak, you're going to say exactly what you want to say and what you need to say to that person, so it comes across what you energetically really wanted to get to them, right? It's like, because within you, you know what you want to say, but you need to wait for that to like kind of channel into you like that. Like you asked for the energy, the question came at you, you felt something. Okay, now you're like feeding in that answer. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you're here. Join the family, family.link. Check us out. We're on Facebook too. And we're getting ready to launch our YouTube. Yeah. And so this is what we talk about, and this is what we're here for, right? So this is how you do it, right? So create that pause, because that pause is not only just for you, but it's for the people that are watching you. Hey guys, thanks for joining. We're talking about how to create love for you and for everyone around you, because this is what we do, right? So create that pause, not only for you, but for them. And when they have a reaction, they get irritated because you're not talking to them. So what? Be calm still. And you ask them, I'm sorry, why does this situation make you feel irritated? Where does that come from for you? Because I wouldn't want to do that, and I'm not inflicting that onto you. So where does that come from for you, and how can I help you get through that? Because that pause that you're taking is only creating the space for the energy to flow into you so that you can give the correct and right answer. Right? Because that's all we ever really want to do, right? Like, most human beings aren't like malicious on a consistent basis. Like, we want to give love to people. Like, we want to give that compassion. We don't always know how, right? Because like most people aren't straight up malicious. And if you are malicious, then you probably have a lot of fears inside of you that you're holding on to, that you're not really letting go to be true to yourself, because it doesn't feel good to be mean to someone or to hurt someone or to hurt yourself, right? So in creating that stop and that pause for yourself, even longer, sit with it. Let that energy flow into you so that you have a full understanding of what you need to say and what you need to feel and how you want to represent yourself. Create your stage presence for your true personality. And let that be okay, you know? Because it's okay for us to have that moment, you know? All of us. And it's okay for everyone around us for us to be patient, you know? Patient for that other person to stop and pause. So it's not only creating the pause for yourself, but it's noticing when other people are having the pause to allow them to have it. Because even for you, you want the true answer, right? You don't want their answer on, yeah, oh my God. Then yeah, have those moments, you know, and that's what you're having. That's why you're having a pause, because you're having your moment. You can even say, look, I'm having a moment. I'm feeling pissed off. That could be your moment. You could even say, you know what? I'm having a moment. I feel like I want to cry, and let yourself cry. You did. Awesome. How'd that feel? What happened? I was like, did you notice an outcome? That's great. And it's like, you know what? That pause is awesome, because we should allow ourselves to be vulnerable. We should allow ourselves to cry and be pissed off without those people around us thinking that we're projecting something onto them, or that we're yelling at them, or that we're sad because they did something. Like, why can't I just be sad? And like, why can't you just allow me to cry and let that be okay? Allow me to yell and scream and like not be at you, right? Because it's okay that I'm mad. You know, we need to be allowed to be vulnerable, right? Like, I think that's part of the problem, is like, no one wants us to be vulnerable. Nobody wants to be vulnerable, or we're not allowed to. But next time, oh, okay, cool. Well, that's cool. See, like, and noticing that you do it though is like a step in the right direction, right? Because like, that was one thing that really got me started on the pause, where I'd be like, oh crap, I could have done it. And it's like, that's like inviting the energy for it to happen next time. So instead of definitely not beating yourself up because you didn't do it, but noticing, hey, I didn't do it, but I had the opportunity. So now I have the next opportunity to know when to do the pause. So awesome. I'm glad you noticed that. Like, great. Good job. Because that's a step in the right direction. Hey, thanks for joining. You know? And so it's like, all that I'm talking about is not always just feeling the love. Oh, thank you. Anytime. Yeah, like, that's what I'm here for, you know? Like, I just want to help guide you guys, and like, anybody that wants to come on here, like, we're trying to grow right now, you know? It's not just me, you know, we have a team here, you know? But let yourself be angry. Part of like how we fix that energetically in the pause and being angry, like you're pissed, you're in it. We call it being in it, right? All your emotions personally. Yeah. Aw, love you guys. Yeah, and it's really hard. And so the thing is when they do take it personally, that's also an opportunity for you to create that pause in yourself. And even if you are crying or upset, you can be like, look, like, please don't take on what I'm doing as yours right now. It's not helping me. And I understand you're feeling it. So maybe can we figure out why you feel affected by this and like where that's coming from for you? Like, why does this situation pose a threat to you, So like, where does that come from for you? And so I think that is a huge, step in the pause too, to be able to be like, look, I'm allowed to be sad right now. Okay. And I don't know why I'm affecting you. Why are you letting it, like, it's okay, and like, we should allow ourselves to be okay and for everyone to be, about caring for them in that moment, calming their anxiety, becomes about, no, it's just a stop moment. Like, look, you go figure this out. I need to be in this right now, and sometimes, yeah, and you do. And that's that moment to take care of you, to be like, look, this is not affecting you. I need to be in this right now. And if they can't be there for you, then that's when you take the time to walk away for a minute, because definitely you need to be there for you. And, I think that is, not taking away from that, because you definitely don't want to go into helping their pain in the moment, but you can acknowledge, like, look, I understand you're having a feeling too, but I need to be in this right now, and so I think that it's not going into it for them. You definitely need to be there for you. And sometimes it's just allowing yourself to be vulnerable and not caring whether they care if you're vulnerable or not. That's a big step in learning for ourselves, that if you're feeling vulnerable, that you don't really have to feel that way, and that you're choosing to. Why you're taking this personally isn't an opinion. Right then. Yeah. Let's figure out. Yes. Isn't their opinion right? Yeah. I mean, it's their opinion. It's your opinion. It's not right or wrong. And they're allowed to have their opinion. That doesn't mean that it is right or wrong, though. It doesn't mean that we can have this opinion or that we can't. They can have their opinion. They're true to it. They can have it. But whether or not it's right or not for you, an option. Oh, okay. Sorry, maybe I wasn't even reading it right. I'm just like standing out here talking. Recap the sentence. Oh no, you're good. Yeah, no, you're good. This is interesting. Like, we're talking about how to create love within yourself. And, we do have the option to choose within ourselves of how we're going to deal with that moment. We have that option to be like, okay, I'm going to be upset right now, or I'm not. Or I'm going to allow myself to be vulnerable, and I'm not going to care who says what around me, right? Or I have the option to be upset and to cause more friction within my life or the person that I'm talking to, right? So it's like we have all kinds of options to deal with it. But like, how can we best go about it? We got to take some time to choose. Right. And so that's where the pause kind of comes in, is like where you choose to have that option and where you choose to stop. And it's like, you take time. Okay, what is it that I value at this point? Right. And, right. And it's like, okay, what's right for you though? Like, and it's not always right for the other person just because it's right for you. So it's like, how do we create that? Well, you just don't let it bother you. It's like we let that energy come into us too much, I think, where it creates that issue, and it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be at all. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted because my phone is going to die. I didn't realize it was like so low. So I'm coming in and I don't know if I'm going to lose you guys because I'm out on the farm and, I need my phone plug here. Hey, we're talking about how to create the pause and the love for yourself. Thanks for joining. Hey guys.